Welcome to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast with Phil Graham. We help you master Facebook ads and give you an unfair advantage over your competition. Are you ready? Let's go.
What's up, podcast family? Welcome to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast, episode 459. Phil Graham here. Today, I've got a really important episode because so many people are testing their ads wrong, and it can lead to a lot of bad things. So today, I'm going to talk about not only the fact that you might be testing your ads wrong, but how you can fix it. So I constantly hear people say, hey, this ad isn't working. It never seems to work. But I'm telling you, many times it might not be the ad. It might be you, not you personally, but just might be like how you're doing it. It might be how you're testing or you're not testing, or you're testing in the wrong way. When you test ads correctly, it should reduce confusion, not create more confusion. And so many advertisers these days are testing in a way that really makes it impossible to learn anything. And if you're running ads and you don't know why things happened, whether it's bad or good, then you are going to be in a very tough spot and you could be doing so much better. I want you to remember that, because most advertisers cannot answer this question. Whether something did bad or good, they can't tell me definitively why. So if you can't do that, how can you possibly make a good judgment based off of the data on what to do next, what to do less of, what to do more of, and what to change? How could you do that effectively if you don't know why something didn't work or even why something did? Great and proper testing can help you learn why things happen. So before we jump into the content, if you guys are looking for any help with your ads, whether you want somebody to actually run them for you, or maybe you want some one-on-one coaching, in my opinion, it's the best way in the world to learn, so much better than courses and groupthink and the blind leading the blind. So if you're looking for some one-on-one coaching specific to you and your situation and your business, or somebody to run your ads for you, let's connect. You can go to my website, philgrahamdigital.com, or you can DM me on Instagram at philgrahamdigital. We can set up a short Zoom call and go from there. So I want to try and make this as short, sweet, full of value, and very actionable as I can for you guys. So let's jump right into the content. Let's talk about the core problem. Number one of all problems when it comes to testing, and that is most advertisers, and I really mean most, advertise in a way where if they are testing, which you should be, there's too many variables at once. People change multiple things at the same time and then try and interpret the result. So if you've changed the creative, and you also change the copy, and maybe you change the headline and maybe even the objective, it doesn't matter what happens, you're going to have no idea what caused it because you've changed way too many things. So when you change too many things, then you really learn almost nothing from it at all. And that's not good. If you don't know what caused the result, whether it's bad or good, then you didn't do a test, you did a guess. And the next ad you run isn't going to be based off of data, it's going to be based off of guesswork, and you don't want to spend your money based off of guesswork. And then briefly, let's talk about 3 mistakes that advertisers are making when it comes to this. Number one, it's confusing testing with launching ads. So launching ads, even if you launch 4 or 5, 6 different ads, that doesn't mean you're testing. Those are all just different ads. You need to have 2 ads that are identical with just one variable. So unless you're doing that, you're not really testing. You're putting ads out there and seeing if it works or not, but you're not going to know why. So don't confuse just launching more than one ad as a proper test, because it's really not. It doesn't mean you shouldn't launch some ads. I mean, hey, it's better than not. And it doesn't mean you always have to be testing something with every 2 ads you run. But with a lot of ads, I would absolutely be doing that, especially these days. So don't think that because you're launching a bunch of different ads, you're testing. Because unless you're doing it correctly, you're really not testing anything. Second mistake I see is letting meta control way too much too early. So I'll see advertisers where they'll have a bunch of creatives within one ad set, and they really want to test these different creatives, whether it's videos or images, or maybe it's ad copy angles, and they're letting meta control the budget. And so often I see, even after weeks or even months, Meta ignores some ads. Sometimes I'll go into an account when somebody comes to me for consulting, and I'll see that the best and lowest cost per result that's in their campaign is actually getting the least amount of ad spend because Meta just chose a different ad to give ad spend to. I've seen situations where something was getting like $80 per customer per sale, and that was getting the most ad spend. Yet there was one that was getting like $7 per sale. It cost $7 to get a customer, and that only got like a tiny bit of ad spend. Wouldn't you think you'd want to give that a little bit more ad spend? It's starting off really good. Is it going to stay good? You don't know till you get more ad spend. But sometimes if Meta's controlling it all, they don't always give it more ad spend, and then you have no clue. You just have no idea. And so you're not really testing, are you? It's just sitting out there. You don't know if it's good or not. So you got to be careful. You don't want to give them too much control over budgets and over what's being tested and what's not. You can have some campaigns where you're giving them some control, but I would absolutely have other ones where you are controlling everything 100% as much as you possibly can. And then another big mistake number 3 is I see a lot of advertisers essentially calling something a winner or like choosing a winner way too soon. And then also on the flip side, I also see a lot of advertisers turning ads off way too soon. I've talked about this a lot, but I have to bring it up because I would say almost everybody does this. Not quite everybody, but almost. Most advertisers turn ads off way, way too soon. And so many of our good ads didn't start off good in the first couple days or even week or so. So you got to let it run a little bit if you really want to know if it's going to work. Unless you have a huge budget, obviously, there are exceptions. But so many people either turn it off too soon or they crown a winner way too soon. And I've just seen so much data over time and that I know that takes time. And so you got to be careful. There's not just one magic thing that I can say to let it run a certain amount of time and then crown the winner, because it depends on your reach, your impressions, your budget, audience size, and so many other things. So I can't just tell you without working with you what that might look like, but try and be careful to not turn it off too soon. Let things run at least a couple weeks, if not longer. Try and get 400 or 500 clicks to the website for each ad. And then you'll have at least a better idea of what's working and what's not. So to summarize, what should testing really look like? If you're truly testing something, then for each test, you're going to have 2 ads. And each of those ads are going to be identical except for just one difference and only one difference. So for example, let's say you were going to test a headline. You would have 2 ads and they would have the same audience, the same ad copy, and the same image or video. All of that would be identical. The only difference, ad 1 would have headline 1 and ad 2 would have headline 2. Everything else would be identical. You can do that for audiences. So the ad and the ad copy is identical, but the audience is different. You can do it for the creatives. You can do it for the ad copy. But when you're testing properly, you have 2 ads for every test you're running. And out of those 2 ads, just have one difference. Then no matter what happens, most likely the thing that caused it was just the only thing that was different between those 2 ads. You might have to test it further, but it gives you so much of a better idea of not only what's going on, but why. And if you know why, you can make better decisions based off of data with what you do next. So I hope that was helpful. So many people mess up their testing and it's such a big deal. If you guys want to get in touch, philgrahamdigital.com is the website, or DM me on Instagram at philgrahamdigital. And as always, just a reminder, it's always important to point out that every business is unique. Results can vary. There's no guaranteed outcomes. So always keep that in mind. Episode 459 is in the books. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your week, and I'll talk to you on next week's episode. Peace out. Oh, yeah.
Thanks for listening to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast. Please remember to subscribe and share this with all your friends. For show notes, more tips, and to learn more about Phil, please visit philgrahamdigital.com/podcast.